Ho, ho, ho! Merry SantaMurph, everybody! And we've got a wonderful show for you coming to you here from Murph Manor. But up first, we must do this sponsorship announcement. So over to the sponsorship announcement. Hello, Papa Murph here, and Mama Murph. And today we're talking about masturbation. What? No, masturbation, as in Master Frederick Bation. You know, the 18th century nobleman. Don't they teach you anything in school these days? So, because it sounds a bit too much like masturbation, we can't talk about it. Alright, fine, we'll just do the sponsorship announcement then. All Murphiverse programming is brought to you by Home for the LD Lee. They sell laserdiscs, HD DVDs, and CDs. And if you put in the code Murph, you get 20% off of your order. So go do that. Maybe pause the video, or come back and do it. Watch more of it afterwards, or do it later. Yes, Home for the LD Lee, the kings of laserdiscs. What's going on here? Oh, hey, what's that thing there? I knew it. It's a camera. They're spying on us again. Must get out of here. Gotta get out of here. Gotta get out. What was that? What was I doing? Oh, hey, it's that. Hey. So, what time do you get off? And hey, that's that camera. It's watching us. I gotta get out of here. Hey, everybody, this is Hans Murphy from Modesto, California, and I'm here to review this week's Smackdown. And the reason I'm doing that, after last week I said that I wasn't going to talk about what's happening in wrestling at the moment, just because it's so shit. A couple of people asked about it, so I thought, well, maybe I should just, give you an example of just how bad it is at the moment. And I'm also going to compare this. So I looked back at the first ever episode of Smackdown, and I also watched this week's Smackdown, this week just gone. And yeah, I'm not going to go too much into detail about the original pilot episode, which was from April in 1999, but I will point out that show went for an hour and a half, and it had 7 matches in it. And none of them were absolute classics or anything, but there were certainly a few that I'd give sort of 3 Murph burps to. They were perfectly fine TV matches. This week's Raw also went for roughly the same length by the time you cut the commercials out, and there was 4 matches. 4. And one of them was 5 seconds long. I'm going to go into it in a bit more detail. So, yeah. Can we get that lighting over here? Why did Coach put it all the way over there? That's better. It gets my good side. The side with, well. Okay, that's perfect. So, both shows started with a mic spot. That's fairly disappointing, as you usually want to get straight into some action. But the difference here is that the mic spot on the show from 1999, that only really went for about, they actually kind of went through multiple mic spots in like 15 minutes. This time it took half an hour for one. And the mic spot in 1999 involved like the entire McMahon family, plus I think Undertaker was there, and Triple H, and a whole bunch of people, so it had a lot to get through. This just had Logan Paul and John Cena. The only real highlight of the one from last night was really just John Cena called Logan Paul a dickhead, which is 100% accurate because he's a dickhead. Also, the kid from the show in Brussels earlier in the year, in Belgium, he was there, and John Cena apologized for being an asshole, basically. So that was kind of cool. So it was just 30 minutes of them going back and forth, and it was mostly awful. Then we got to the first match, and I had hopes for this because it was Chelsea Green versus Alexa Bliss, both really talented wrestlers, especially Chelsea, and it was fine for the most part. But they've been doing a lot of lately, which was the roll-up finish, and a roll-up finish can be fine when you do it occasionally, because then it comes as a surprise. If you do it in practically every match, then it's no longer a surprise. Triple H seems to only like to do three endings. There's the sudden roll-up out of nowhere, there's interference, and on a very rare occasion, there's an actual fair winner. It wasn't a particularly long match either, even if you count the pre-match and post-match beatdowns. Also, between the mic spot and the match, there had been some backstage stuff with the Street Profits and the Wyatt Six. Well, a member of, I think it was just Uncle Howdy without his mask. Whatever. And at some point in the night, they announced that Cody Rhodes and his wife Brandy have had another child, which is, great good news for them. At least that was fairly short. But after the match, they went straight backstage to another mic spot, well, an interview, I guess, with Sami Zayn. Something I forgot to mention also, this was in France. And I don't know, I guess that a lot of people in France speak English. But you think if you're going to a country where you're... I think both Logan and Cena did do some of their mic spot in French. But for the most part, is there going to be a lot of people there that have got no idea what they're saying? I just think that would be better for everyone if they just did more action rather than words on those shows. Maybe that's just me, though. So after that first match, which, like I said, was fairly short, there was the Sami Zayn thing. Then there was a promo for their Unreal show, the sort of behind the curtain thing. Then there was a promo for the pay-per-view that's happening tomorrow, or today, I guess. Time zones are funny. Then we had a promo from Aleister Black. Then we had another backstage interview with Damian Priest. Now at this point, we're 48 minutes into the show. On the very first episode of Smackdown, like the pilot episode, there had already been like 2 or 3 matches at this point. Also, I rewatched the first episode of Raw. That only went for 45 minutes, and that had several matches plus an interview. And so, yeah, it's just, I don't get it. Why is there so much filler on these shows? Out next was Mi Chin, and she gets into the ring, and then we go to a commercial break. Now, this is something that happens quite a lot. I don't know why, but they sort of like to get the wrestlers into the ring for the next match. Then they go to a commercial break, and they just kind of have to stand there, I guess, for the 3 minutes while they're at the commercial break. Sometimes when they come back from the break, they also do a promo for an upcoming show, and show some random shots of buildings, and a whole bunch of other stuff, and backstage segments. Thankfully for Mi Chin, once they came back from the commercial break, they had her opponent come out. Kiana James, I think her name is. I don't know. I think she's Julia's friend. That's kind of all I know her as. This was another match with a roll-up finish, but it was only 5 seconds long. It was literally roll-up 1, 2, 3. So allowing for the time for them to do the roll-up, that's about 5 seconds. After that, there was another beatdown, and then Drew McIntyre made his way to the ring. And the first thing that Drew brings up is that Cody is out with an injury. But they kind of spoiled that earlier because they said that his wife just gave birth, so he's probably actually just on paternity leave. So, yeah. Now, Drew calls out Randy Orton, and the crowd sings Randy Orton's theme song in full. So it's like 5 minutes of just the crowd singing. Once they finally actually started talking to each other, a fight broke out, but then security came in and broke them up because, I don't know, God forbid any actual wrestling happens on this fucking wrestling show. Randy hits the RKO on all of the security people, one of whom was the Hurricane. So, good for him, I guess. He has a job. We then see The Miz and Milo arguing backstage. They also get interrupted by Uncle Howdy. Then we have the Street Profits versus Milo and Miz. And I know they pronounce it Mello, but it's spelled M-E-L-O. That would be Milo. The Street Profits get into the ring. Then we go to a commercial break. Then there's a spot backstage with Randy Orton, which is really just an attempt at a live commercial for Fireball whiskey. And Yeah, that was dumb. Then we get back to the ring, and they're still in the ring doing their version of yeeting, I guess. You know, Jey Uso has his thing where they wave their arms about. They have this thing where they put their arms over their heads. So they've just been doing that for the past, I don't know, 5 minutes or whatever it's been. The match was average, I guess. It ended when the Wyatt Six showed up. They didn't interfere, but they distracted the Miz, so he didn't go and save Milo. So yeah. Anyway, they now get a shot at the. Anyway, the Street Profits won, and they get a shot at the titles at the pay-per-view, or PLE. We then see another backstage segment. This is with Tiffany and Jade. After their crap match at SummerSlam, it looks like they're having another one at the next pay-per-view. I think Tiffany's amazing, considering she's only been in the business a fairly short amount of time. She's doing a good job. It's just unfortunate that they're putting her with Jade Cargill again, who's... So they've got two wrestlers with similar names. There's Jade and Jada. I'd say that Jade Cargill has one thing going for her, and that's that she's more talented than Jada. But that's not difficult. Jade Cargill does have a unique look. She's just not anywhere near ready for the spot they're trying to give her. I would personally, if they're going to keep her, I'd send her maybe to NXT for a couple of years so that she can actually learn how to wrestle. We then have another backstage segment with Solo Sikoa and his buddies. Then Sami Zayn walks to the ring. Then we get another commercial break. Then we get a shot of a random building for some reason. And then the promo for Stephanie McMahon's podcast. Then a promo for the pay-per-view. Then back to Zayn, who's just been waiting in the ring this whole time. Probably about another 5-10 minutes. After the match finally started, we had another commercial break. A lot of interference from Solo's group. Then Zayn won. He gets the title. Shit match. But good for Zayn, I guess. So yeah, 4 matches. A lot of talking. One of the matches was only 5 seconds. WWE, do better. I'm not saying that you need the 7-match show had the best matches of all time, you know, the first ever episode of Smackdown. But that's considerably better than this. I'd much rather have 7 okay matches than 4 matches, one of which was kind of okay but had a stupid ending. The pay-per-view's on today, I guess, our time. I don't know if I'll review that or not. I will watch it. It can't be any worse than that episode of Smackdown. I think that this is kind of... I'm not going to say it's a new low, because they've done several episodes like this. I just think that it's a shame. There's so much talent there that's not getting TV time, and there's also... You know, you don't need to have a 30-minute mic spot. That show from 1999 proves you can get your point across in, like, 10. Even some of those mic spots, they really could only, give them 5 minutes. Some of them even less. You don't need to talk for that long for a wrestling show. Anyway, that's my take on it. I'm sure others will disagree. But yeah, I thought that was one of the worst episodes of SmackDown I've ever seen. So, yeah. See ya. Hello, tennis! So, last night I watched a film called Leatherface. This is a prequel to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The original, that is, not the remake. Now the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a series with a very complicated backstory. They've kind of rebooted it several times, so the timelines are all over the place. This one is only canonical with the original film, and this one is only canonical with the original film and the 3D movie. Now, the lead actor credited is Stephen Dorff, who we've talked about on the show before. He was in the movie Backbeat, where he played Stuart Sutcliffe, and did a marvellous job. He was also marvellous in a movie called I Shot Andy Warhol, where he played Candy Darling. Despite being a cisgender heterosexual male, he did play the role very well. And it's better for they don't have cisgender men playing transgender women, but he did a great job in that film. I think, anyway. But the reason I bring up that film is because this also stars Lily Taylor, who was also in I Shot Andy Warhol. Yes. However, despite being the lead actor as far as the cast list goes for this film, Stephen Dorff is really not in it that much. It mostly focuses on a group of children that escape from a sort of children's detention centre thingy. One of which grows up to be Leatherface. It's not a terrible film, it's just not a good Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. It kind of doesn't really get the point of the whole thing. You know, it doesn't really get the whole vibe of the whole thing. And I think the fact that it was shot in Bulgaria rather than shot in Texas, you can kind of tell that it doesn't really look even remotely American. And in fact, it was directed by two Frenchmen, and about a fair amount, at least, of the cast are English, so it doesn't really connect as well as certainly at least the first two Texas Chainsaw Massacre films. Even that 3D one was better than this. It's not that bad. It's just, like I say, not a good Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, so we're going to give it... Hey, where'd my girlfriend go? We also saw... Coach, what are you doing? Stop trying to steal my girlfriend. I'm not trying to steal your girlfriend. I'm trying to make a video. That's the light. It's not your girlfriend. It's my girlfriend. A light, I love you. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. I think we'll leave that there. Hello, tennis! Hey, so thanks for watching this awkward Murphing video, and no, hey, Coach. Hey, where'd my girlfriend go? I didn't know you had a girlfriend. Yeah, her name's Alight. She's gorgeous. I know where A-Light is. I don't know about your girlfriend, though. What does she look like? Oh, she's great. She's positively radiant. She shines with the beam of 1,000 suns. Right. Right. I'm not really sure. Maybe just wait over there, and we'll have a look for her later. Okay. Alight, I found you. No, that just is a light. It's not. Hang on. Oh, Alight, it's your big boy Coachy here. No. Alight, wake up! Wake up, damn you! No! Okay, so just forgive the bad lighting on this particular bit. I'm just going to leave the light turned off until Coach calms down. And yeah. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out our website. Don't forget Home for the LD Lee. Don't forget that the Murph is also uploading a bunch of stuff to the Internet Movie Archive. He's only got one video up there so far, but the plan is to get all the stuff up there because he's sick of dealing with all the copyright bullshit here. So keep an eye out for that. Don't forget, like, subscribe, comment, whatever. And yeah, we'll see you next time. All right, I always know how to turn my baby on. Sexual harassment, panda. Raindrops keep falling on my head. And